Okay, so good afternoon, students. I hope I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so today we'll be discussing experiment number 2 here. What is the experiment number 2? Actually, it has two parts. The first one is to determine the resistance, inductance, power, and power factor of a choke coil. Okay, and the second one is 2B part to determine the resistance, capacitance, power, and power factor of a RC series circuit. So, what are these individual parts 2A and 2B? Both cases you can see the part of the aim is common here. We need to determine the resistance, power, and power factor. In the first part, it is a choke coil. A choke coil will be basically an inductive coil having some amount of small resistance to it. So let me say the inductor value is L and the small less amount of resistance, low resistance value is small r. That would be a choke coil. So we are in this particular case choke coil, we are finding out the resistance value, inductance, power, and power factor. Whereas for the B part, same, we will be finding out the resistance, and it's for a series RC circuit. That means you are having a resistance and a capacitance, R and C. So for a series RC circuit, you need to find out what is the resistance value, what is the capacitance value, what is the power, and what is the power factor of operation of this particular RC series circuit. These are the two parts we will be doing. So let's start with the first part, the A part, for a choke coil. The screen is visible to everyone. Please confirm whether the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now, since you are first year students, what are the properties of these individual elements? I'll just quickly tell you: a resistor, and an inductor, and a capacitor. R, L, and C. So in the first experiment, we had seen the properties. I had told you that time also that for a resistance, instantaneously the current actually changes with respect to the voltage applied across it. Whereas for a inductor, there is a specific time duration after which there is any change which is going to happen in the current through the inductor. Similarly, for a capacitor, we had determined that the capacitor voltage cannot be changed instantaneously, isn't it? Whereas for a resistance, the current changes instantaneously with respect to the voltage applied across it. So these are fundamental points which you should remember. Now that was in terms of DC excitation, which we did in the first experiment. You remember what was the first experiment? Find out the time constant to determine the time constant of a RC
Hello,
series.
hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, I joined the wrong class because of little confusion. So, can you repeat what did we do till now?
No, I just started. I have not explained anything. I'm just talking
So,
about
this
what
is
is
the
our
first
experiment.
experiment.
No, this is the second experiment.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So experiment number 2 has two parts, 2A and 2B. And the first one is for a choke coil, and the second one is for a series RC circuit. We need to find out the resistance, inductance, power, and power factor of these both individual components. One is a choke coil and an RC series circuit. So I was telling what are the fundamental properties of resistance, inductance, and capacitance. Do this practical in VLab. Okay, you can do this in VLab also, but anyways, we have performed it in the lab. We will show you. I'll show you with the help of a video also how we are doing. So wait for the implementation and all those discussions later. Let us first complete the theory portion and understand what we are going to study. Okay, so resistance, inductance, and capacitor. So for the first experiment, remember we had talked about the time constant of an RC series circuit. That means after 5 time constant, we saw that the system is actually reaching steady state. Okay, near about 5 time constant. And time constant is that time for which a RC series circuit capacitor voltage reaches to 63.2% of its final voltage value, isn't it? We had defined time constants in different ways, either in terms of the current flowing through the capacitor or through the voltage across the capacitor. Now, that was for a DC excitation. Remember, we had applied a DC voltage, whereas in this particular case, we are going to apply, since we are talking about a power factor, so we are going to excite this circuit with the help of a AC supply or sinusoidal supply. AC, everyone knows this. This might have been introduced to you depending upon the type of sources, right? So it's an alternating source we are talking about here. We can call this source as V is equal to, the voltage source can be written as Vm sine omega t. Okay, so this is the time period, omega t. It is sinusoidally varying, and this is equal to pi here, 2 pi here, the total time period, and this is pi, and this is 0. And this is the voltage variation with respect to omega t. Right? So this is the voltage for an AC circuit, and this is being applied to a choke coil. So what is our circuit initially? So let me just draw that. So for a choke coil, as I told you, it is nothing but the inductive coil. Okay, but since it is a bigger choke coil, it will have some small amount of resistance present in the coil. So I'm calling this as small r, the resistance of this coil, and the inductance value L. Okay, so this is a representation of a choke coil. Now, other than that, we are going to have another component connected here. There are some components in the overall power circuitry, but how does the variation of this inductor, capacitor, current and voltage happen for an AC source? So if I'm drawing here just the basic inductor and resistance, okay, so this is your resistance, and let's say this is your inductor. I'm exciting it with a sinusoidal source. What will happen because of this? Let the voltage magnitude be V. When I say V, it is not constant DC, it is a AC voltage source. Okay, now let me say this has a resistance value here and it is having an inductance here. This is a general circuit I'm representing. Okay, and I'm going to find out what is the response in this circuit, because we know that whenever there is a voltage source, close flowing through it because of here, isn't it? So what will be the
Your voice is
expression here?
breaking.
Now everything
Sir, your voice is cracking.
so whenever they're going through the okay, so I hope it will be better now. Am I audible to all now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So whenever the current flows through this resistance, there will be a drop across it, isn't it? So I'm going to write down the drop across this as a voltage drop VR like this. And since it's AC, I'm going to represent it with a vector sign. So on top of this, if I'm having a line, it represents that it is a vector or a phasor. Similarly, the voltage across inductor I'm writing down this as VL. This is also a phasor quantity because the current is sinusoidal here. Okay, and this is my source voltage. Let me write down this as Vs. This is also a phasor quantity. Now, if I want to write down the KVL in this particular case, then I have to write down Kirchhoff's voltage law in phasor form for AC circuit. In phasor form. Now, what is KVL in phasor form? Vs minus I into R, that is a voltage drop across this, or let me just write down first in terms of voltages, minus VR minus VL should be equal to 0. This voltage and this voltage, the total drop in the circuit should be in a closed path should be equal to 0. So Vs minus VR minus VL is equal to 0 here. But what is VR? The voltage across the resistance. This is nothing but I into R, where R is a scalar quantity, but current is a phasor quantity here, isn't it? Similarly, what is VL? VL is the voltage across the inductor, isn't it? What is the voltage across an inductor? How will you write down it for an AC quantity, the voltage across inductor? Can anyone tell?
I into impedance, IZ.
I into impedance.
Impedance.
Okay, what is an impedance, Dheer?
It's like a equivalent resistance type for an inductor. The amount of resistance it provides.
Yes, that's good. Good answer. So, for a resistor, we know that the opposition offered by this resistor to the flow of current is actually known as its resistance. Okay. So similarly, there will be some opposition offered to the flow of current here by the inductor. Opposition offered to the flow of current by the inductor. What is that term? That term is not actually in inductance and not actually impedance. The for a pure inductor, the term is actually known as reactance. Okay, it is known as a reactance, and the reactance of an inductor, we call it as XL. We represent it as XL. X is the reactance. X is a symbol for reactance. So XL, that means the reactance offered by the inductor for the flow of current, or for the opposition offered to the flow of current through it, is known as inductive reactance. One second. Okay, so this is roll number 35, right? So as per the batch allocations available on your joining portal, okay, so from roll number 20 to roll number 74 are in this batch, N2 batch. That is what I know as of now. Is there any changes which have happened? I don't know. I'm not sure. That is why I have given you the link to join. Is there any changes in your batches?
सर वी आर ऑल्सो कंफ्यूज, मतलब अभी कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है. जैसे कुछ अभी न्यू स्टूडेंट्स ऐड हो रहे हैं तो शायद T2 के बच्चों को T1 में शिफ्ट कर रहे हैं, ऐसा कहीं से, मतलब ऐसे मैम कह रही थी कोई.
नो बट ऐसा कुछ आपके पास डॉक्यूमेंटेशन तो कुछ आया नहीं है.
नहीं सर,
हमारे पास भी कुछ
डॉक्यूमेंट
ऐसा
ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं आया.
then how will we know कि change हुआ है then? So because as per your admission in your branch, yours is EIN branch, right? Instrumentation branch.
यस सर.
So from roll number 1 to roll number 90.
यस सर.
Okay, not 90. For example, when I say 90, it is not all numbers between this.
यस सर.
Okay, so those are in batch 1. Okay, and 35 is actually in batch 2. Batch 2 when I say N2.
यस सर. तो
So
सर
I'll just quickly tell you who are in this batch. Okay, I'll just read out the roll numbers.
यस
Roll number 20, 21, 29, 30, 31, 33, 34, 35, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 47, 48, 50, 54, 55, 56, 58, 59,
What about
60.
45?
I don't know about 45
Sir,
because it would have been in,
actually, I haven't written my roll number in this name. I have written Rothschild, which is my name. My roll number is 045.
yeah, you are in first practical, na? P1 batch you are in.
So I
You
don't
are
know
in
about that
P1
P1,
batch.
P2, but I know that I'm in N2.
P1 when I say P1 or P2, that means your practical 1 batch or practical 2 batch. So you are in practical, yours is roll number 45, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 45, you are in the first N1 batch.
No, sir, I'm in N2 batch.
How do you know that?
Sir, actually, in our group, someone shared us a list. So in that, my name is written in N2 batch. My roll number is 045.
No, that's not correct. I will just do one thing. I will share it.
Actually, sir, I joined late because I joined another class. In that, the teacher also told me that you are not in N1, you are in N2. So that's why I left that group and now I'm in this lecture.
Look, I'll just show you what is your situation. Okay, so this is your list. 1 second. Is this visible to all? So this is your roll numbers. Okay, so you can see here. Is it visible to everyone what I'm showing? The
Yes, sir.
yeah, the web browser. Okay, so this is your batch, complete batch. Fine. So when in allocated practical batch, you can see here, and these are your roll numbers, isn't it? So P1, you can see this P1 means N1 batch. So it is till this point. Fine. And your roll number is 45. 45 is here, right? So this is in P1 batch. That means N. P1 means the first
P1
batch
is
of
N1,
practical.
P1 and N1 are
Yes.
different or same?
It is the same because look, all batches you generally have three separate batches in each division, depending upon the number of students. So you are specific. So P1 means basically first practical batch, that is this, since yours is N, so this will be N1. Okay, so from till this point 90 तक जो ये बच्चे हैं, these are in N1. From 20 and till this point 74. Okay, so 41, 47, 48, 50, 54, 55, 56, 58, 59, 60, 61, 63, 64.
Sir,
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Okay, am I audible to all?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so there was some disconnection from my side. So now, as I told you, so these are the roll numbers you can see here who are in P2 batch, or we can say N2 batch. This is N2. Fine. After that, जो भी बाकी students हैं, they are in from 65, 66, 73, 75, 76, 82, 83, 85, 84, 91, 92, 90. These are in N3 batch. I hope the confusion is clear. Roll number 45, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You're not audible.
So shall I? Okay. So shall I attend this class or shall I leave for this timing?
No, because if there is some other class going on for your batch, P1 batch, then, oh sorry, N1 batch, then you should attend that.
Sir, actually, I attended this class from starting. So if I attend that class, half of the class will be over for me. So will it be fine if I attend this?
No, I don't have any issues if you attend this, not an issue from my side. What I'm saying is
Okay.
later you have to anyways go to that batch. So
Yes, sir.
you should attend that session also later. Get the
Okay.
access to that recording or something like that. Okay, so fine. Yeah, that is about the
Thank you,
batches.
sir.
Now let us come back to the experiment here. Okay, so I was talking about the screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
So I was talking about the
sir, sorry to
reactants here.
interrupt,
Right?
sir.
Yes, what happened?
सर मतलब फिर अभी मैंने लेट ज्वाइन करा तो ऐसा तो नहीं होगा मेरी अटेंडेंस कम हो जाएगी रोल नंबर 35? आपकी क्लास में
देखो
मैंने लेट ज्वाइन करा ना अभी, क्योंकि मैं स्वाति मैम की क्लास अटेंड कर रहा था, वो कंफ्यूजन के कारण। वो अभी कोड ब्लॉक्स का कुछ पढ़ा रही थी।
look, that is all right.
ओके सर।
Yeah, don't worry about that as of now.
ओके सर।
And please don't interrupt when the class is going on regarding these issues.
ओके, सॉरी सर।
Yeah. So we were talking about the choke coil and the reactance for an inductance. Okay, so there is an inductor. It offers an opposition to the flow of current through it, and that quantity is known as the reactance. Now, how do you represent this reactance? This reactance depends upon the frequency of the supply. So whenever you say there is an AC supply, I told you it is represented as Vm sin omega t, where what is omega? Omega is the frequency, 2 pi into f. Okay, this is frequency in radians, and this frequency is in hertz. So we'll say that there is a frequency component here, omega, and your XL is written as omega into L. That means depending, it is directly proportional to the frequency of source, omega into L. Fine. Similarly, the reactance, if it is a capacitor, the capacitor will also have some reactance which is offered by it. We call that reactance. And what is the reactance? Reactance is the opposition offered by the capacitor for the flow of current through it. Similarly, capacitor also will have some reactance. We'll call this as Xc, the capacitive reactance. And this will be written as 1 by omega c. 1 divided by omega c. Fine. That is, it will have a value which is inversely proportional to omega. Fine. So these are some things you should remember now. Capacitive reactance and inductive reactance. Now, how to represent this capacitive reactance along with the resistance? Because this unit of this reactance, this is the opposition offered, isn't it? So what is the unit of resistance? Ohms. So similarly, this is also an opposition offered by the inductor to the flow of current. So this reactance unit will also be in ohms. Similarly, capacitive reactance 1 by omega c will also have a unit of ohms. So these are oppositions. That is why their units are in ohms, opposition to the flow of current. Now, since we are writing down these all equations in phasor form means there is a direction, it is equivalent to a vector in your mathematics. So it will basically represent a magnitude, also some angle to it. And that angle will actually tell you what is the situation, or what is the instant at which that quantity is moving, because you know that the sinusoidal signal is varying like this. So it will have some quantities at some time, it will have a magnitude like this. At some time it will have a magnitude this much. At some point of time it will have a peak value. Similarly, some point it will become zero, isn't it? So depending upon the angle, you can find out what is the magnitude of this phasor, of this quantity, varying with respect to time. Okay, such a quantity is actually known as a time varying quantity, and can be represented in terms of a phasor value. So this reactance, as I told you, this is omega into L, and Xc is 1 by omega c. Now how to represent this? Because the resistance does not have any phase. Okay, this quantity does not have any phase. It's a scalar value, but XL will not be in the same. We cannot write down directly R plus XL. Okay, so there will be a component we have to represent. So even if I say I for VL is the voltage across inductor. You said one of you told me that VL is equal to I multiplied by the impedance. Impedance, you meant that the opposition offered by that inductor to the flow of current. So that means you want to say that VL can be written as I into XL. Okay, but XL is a quantity omega into L. Omega is a frequency. L is inductance value. So these are normal scalar quantities. So this will also make XL to be a scalar quantity. But you can see here VL is a phasor quantity. Similarly, I also is a phasor quantity. But is the voltage of a inductor and the current flowing through the inductor in the same phase? Are they in same phase? It is not so. Why? Because for an inductor, whenever you try to draw the phasor diagram, so if this is your voltage across the inductor VL, okay, at this point, then the current flowing through the inductor, if I'm calling this I, the current flowing through the inductor, the current will be lagging the voltage VL exactly by 90 degrees. Exactly by 90 degrees. So this is your phasor VL and this is your phasor I, and there is a 90-degree lag of this for this phasor I to the voltage across the inductor value if it is a pure inductor. But when I write down the equation like this, VL is equal to I into XL, as per this expression, what do you understand? That whatever because XL is a scalar, I is a phasor, VL is also phasor. Scalar multiplied by phasor will also have the same phase as that of I. But is that true? That is not actually true for an inductor. There is a 90-degree angle between these two phasors. So this representation is incomplete, isn't it? This representation, when I say I cannot equal them, even though the magnitude will be same, but angle between them is not the same. So to make this equation complete, we need to add some more component here so that shows me that angle between these two is 90 degree between I and XL. So for that we define an operator which is known as a J operator. What is a J operator? J operator. Everyone has to listen this carefully. Okay. What is a J operator? A J operator is a quantity to which if I multiply any phasor, okay, for example, this is my phasor I, okay, then if I multiply it with J operator, it will rotate this quantity by an angle of 90 degree. That means if I multiply this I phasor with Ji, if I multiply it with J, then Ji will get rotated by an angle of 90 degree in the counterclockwise direction. That is the effect of this operator. And also this operator does not have any magnitude. Its magnitude is same. It is unity. So magnitude of J is equal to 1 and angle of J is equal to 90 degree. So basically whenever I say I have operated any phasor with J, what should you understand? It is multiplied by J and the angle, basically that phasor is getting rotated in the counterclockwise direction by 90 degrees. So if this is I phasor, Ji will be somewhere here, 90 degree rotated in the counterclockwise direction. But the magnitude will remain same. So if I draw a circle with this as radius, so the radius circle will pass through this also because this and this, they both magnitudes are same. They both are radiuses. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So we are defining an operator which is known as a J operator. And what does a J operator do? It actually rotates the phasor. So I am writing to make this voltage equation complete for an inductor, VL is equal to some quantity I into XL multiplied by J. What will it do? Now this becomes a complete equation. Why? Because what does this information tell us? I into XL. Okay. I into XL will be again, if I multiply this with I, so this will be in the same direction as that of the I phasor, isn't it? And I'm multiplying it with J operator. What will it do? It will rotate my phasor I into XL in the counterclockwise direction by 90 degree, isn't it? So if it is rotating by 90 degree, it will give me another phasor here whose magnitude is how much? J times, whose value is J times I into XL. But what is J times I into XL? This is nothing but the voltage across the inductor. So now this expression is complete. This is a complete expression showing us that voltage is equal to the magnitude. And what is the magnitude? VL magnitude is I magnitude into XL. I can say I into XL magnitude. Magnitude will not change. but the angle is not the same. Angle of I into XL is here, and angle of VL is here, J times IXL. So there is a 90-degree shift between them. So this is how we represent voltage across an. Is this clear to all? Is this clear to all? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
सर वो जे वाला
तो
वापस समझाओगे?
नहीं, J वाला मैंने आपको इतना डिटेल में बताया अभी. What is J operator? I have told you.
सर वो कॉल आ गया था बीच में इसमें आपका
So
आवाज
that is not. I'm sorry, that is not my responsibility. If everyone says like that, call aa gaya tha, then what I'm going to do? Then I'm going to explain J operator again and again. No, na. That is your responsibility that you have to pay attention. Please don't behave as though you are at your home and this is some service provided to you. You are in a classroom. You are not supposed to talk to anyone. Just listen to what I'm teaching you. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So be attentive. Don't just get your attention be disturbed by anything else. I'm not going to repeat it again and again because this is what you have to listen to this session. Not my duty to repeat it again. So please be careful regarding that. Now that is about the J operator. And now if I'm again coming back to this KVL equation, okay, what is the KVL equation? KVL equation I had written Vs is equal to, if I take the other signs to the left hand side and other negative portions to the right hand side, I can write down this as VR plus VL, isn't it? And VR, we know that it is I into R. So Vs can be written as, this is I into R plus, what is VL? VL is nothing but J times I into XL. So all quantities which are phases I am representing by a line on over the top, just as we represent for vectors. Now you can see here, if I take the current phasor common here, I, what is the quantity I'm getting? A scalar quantity R plus another quantity J times XL. So Vs phasor is equal to I phasor into R plus J times XL. What is this quantity now? This quantity together, R plus J times XL. This is the quantity which one of you had initially said. It is known as, or it is defined as, the impedance of the circuit. This is known as the impedance of the circuit. And this impedance is represented by Z. Okay, represented by the variable Z. So Z is nothing but R plus J times X. R plus J times X. Now I can write down this expression. Vs is equal to I phasor multiplied by, instead of R plus JXL, I am going to write down I into Z. Is this clear to everyone? So what is this impedance? Impedance is R plus JX. This can also be written as this voltage Vs phasor divided by I phasor. Vs divided by I is nothing but Z. Now if I ask you what is the magnitude of Z, what is the magnitude of Z? You can write down Z as like this or Z as like this. Any way you can write down. So Z magnitude will be magnitude of Vs divided by magnitude of I, or Vs divided by I. That will be the impedance magnitude. Okay. In terms of R plus Jx. So you should understand this J operator. Whenever I said J operator, it is the same representation as in terms of a real and imaginary part. So you all have studied A plus IB, okay, or A plus BI, complex numbers everyone has studied. So what is this A plus BI? A plus BI is nothing but, if this is your real axis and this is your imaginary axis, then A plus BI represents, this is, let's say, A and this is B. So A plus BI is this point, A plus BI. Similarly, in electrical engineering, we are going to represent this in terms of Instead of A plus BI, we are going to write down this as A plus JB. So instead of I, we are going to use J to represent a imaginary part and a real part. And what is the imaginary part? It is not exactly imaginary, it is the reactance part. This is nothing but R plus J times X. Okay, so this will be the real part R, and there is another part which is known as the reactance. That is the coefficient of J. So what is the magnitude? We can write down it is nothing but magnitude of Vs divided by magnitude of I, or in terms of R plus Jx, how to write down the magnitude of Z? It can be written as root of R square plus X square. Root of R square plus X square. Is that clear? Because what is the magnitude of this complex number? For A plus BI, what is the magnitude? The magnitude is root of A square plus B square. So what will be the magnitude of R plus JX? It should be root of R square plus X square. So Z can be written as root of R square plus X square in terms of its magnitude value. And actually Z is represented as R plus JX. And what is R? R is the resistive part of your circuit here. This is the circuit which we are talking about, isn't it? R is the resistive part of your circuit. And what is X? X is the reactance part of your circuit. In this particular case, it's a inductive reactance. And what is X here? I had told you, X is nothing but omega into L. It is a component which is depending upon the frequency of AC excitation, omega. I hope this terminology is clear to all. R, X, R, L, XL, Z, root of R square plus X square, and so on. So when I said that there is a 90-degree angle between the current flowing through the inductor and voltage across the inductor, I had written this, right? VL, and this is IL. This should be remembered by you throughout. Okay. And in terms of time domain, if I say your voltage is, let's say VL is equal to, or we'll define that later. Now come back to the choke coil. In a choke coil, what we have? We are having a small resistance R. This is a resistance which is present inherently in a choke coil. Even though how is a choke coil being formed? By a lot of turns, number of turns in this coil, right? But this coil will have some amount of resistance also present. This cannot be zero. There will be small amount of resistance present here, even though the majority of the property will be shown by or represented by an inductance. There will be some small amount of resistance still present in the choke coil. So that is why we are drawing that resistance also here. So what is that we are going to do for this particular choke coil? We are going to connect to this choke coil. So this is your inductor. Then this is the resistance small r of your choke coil, and this choke coil. So this completely represent your choke coil. Okay. Now to this choke coil, I'm going to connect a load in series. And this is in experiment, we are going to connect a resistive load here. This is a resistive load we are going to connect here. And what we are going to do here, let's say the resistance of this particular load is capital R, resistive load. Now to this combination of this choke coil and a resistor, we are providing some voltage. We are providing some voltage here, sinusoidal voltage Vs, at a frequency f, or you can say at a frequency of omega, where omega is nothing but 2 pi f. So what will happen if I connect it like this? We have seen what happens in this particular circuit. R and L were connected to Vs. Whereas here we are having R, capital R, in series with a choke coil. So this is your choke coil and this is your resistance of the load, resistive load. Now in your practical, you are going to use a lamp load here. Lamp load, which is resistive inherent in nature. Okay, so we are going to turn on lamps one by one and check what is the different loading condition, how much is the current flowing through each of them and so on. So let me call this together here, the current flowing through the circuit now, because it is a closed path now. I'm calling this current as I, and the total voltage across this is nothing but Vs. So again, in this particular case, because of the closed path, I am having a current flow. As a result, I can write down Kirchhoff's voltage law, isn't it? So KVL in this circuit here, what will be the KVL? KVL will be Vs, which is my Vs phasor. Then there will be a voltage across the choke coil. I'm calling that voltage as VCC minus V choke coil. This again will be a phasor minus voltage across the load. I'm calling that as VR. The voltage across this VR. So sum of all these voltages in a closed path should be equal to 0 here. So this is nothing but Kirchhoff's voltage law in phasor form. We have written this same thing here also, isn't it? The only difference is that other than this inductor, there is a small resistance also. R we have considered. That is the only difference here because it is a choke coil we have considered. Fine. Now, choke coil itself is having a combination of R and L, small r and small l, small r and capital L. Now, if I am going to measure the voltage across it, so let me just measure the voltage. I'll just connect a meter across it to measure this voltage. This will measure the voltage across the complete coil. I'm calling this as VCC, V choke coil. Okay, and the voltage across this load, I'm measuring it using a voltmeter again. This is VR, the voltage across the resistance, and the total voltage between these 2 points. I'm again going to measure here between these 2 points. That will be how much? That will be the total voltage across this voltage of the circuit. Voltage of the circuit across this, which is basically equal to Vs itself. Between these 2 points, what is the voltage? It is equal to Vs itself, isn't it? What is the current flowing through these paths since all these components are in series? So this is the current I. Same current flows through this because they all are in series. Same current flows through this I. Same current flows through this I, and so on. Back to the circuit here. They are in series here, isn't it? So for this whole circuit and individual coil, let us see how to write down the impedance value. So VCC, let us come back here, black pen itself. So what is VCC? Choke coil here. Voltage of the choke coil. That is the total voltage difference, potential difference between these 2 points, isn't it? So that should be equal to the current flowing through this, multiplied by the opposition offered by the combination of these two, isn't it? Because it has capital L and small r also. So we have seen if there is a resistance and inductor in series, what is the total opposition offered? We call that opposition offered as impedance, isn't it? So I'm going to write down that opposition offered in terms of a common. Okay, I can separately write down these terms, I into small r, right? Plus same current flows I through the inductor. Now for the inductor, we know that what is the term we have? Voltage across the inductor and current flowing through the inductor are 90° at phases. So I can say this is I multiplied by or J times I into XL. This is only for the choke coil for small r and capital L. And if I take here I common, what can I write down here is small r plus J times XL. Same thing which we did here also. I'm just internally doing this for small r and capital L. They are in series. Now what is this quantity R plus JXL? Again, this is the impedance of what component? The choke coil. So I'm going to write down this as I multiplied by ZCC. What is ZCC? ZCC is nothing but impedance of choke coil. What is ZCC? ZCC is the small r plus J times XL. So that is one of the equations which we have. Now, what else are we measuring? We are measuring the voltage across the resistance also. That means this load also. These are load, resistive load, isn't it? So what is VR? VR phasor can be written as current flowing through that load, that is I, since it's in series, same current, multiplied by the resistance value of the load resistance R, isn't it? So now I'm going to write down here. I'm going to substitute this V in this equation, VCC also in this equation. So what is this main equation become? Vs is equal to VCC is nothing but I into ZCC plus I into R. Now if I write down this I, if I take common, I can write down this as R plus ZCC. What is this total value? This total value is nothing but the total opposition offered by the circuit here. Total opposition offered by the circuit to the flow of current I. Okay, so this I'm going to represent as Z impedance offered by the total circuit. Because what is this Vs? Vs is the voltage of the total circuit, this voltage. And I is the current flowing through the circuit. So if I want to measure this current, what we'll do? We'll just connect an ammeter here in the circuit. We'll just connect an ammeter here in the circuit like this. So this will measure the current I flowing through the circuit. Since it's all in series here. Fine. And we are already measuring V circuit, which is Vs. So this voltage is known. If this voltage is known, this current is known, we can find out what is Z circuit from this. What is Z circuit? Z, I'm going to write down here Z circuit. The total impedance offered by the circuit is nothing but the total voltage Vs, which is the V circuit, divided by the total current flowing through the circuit here in series I. That means the voltmeter reading, this voltmeter reading here, divided by the ammeter reading. And what is this voltmeter reading? This is V circuit, VCKT. This voltmeter divided by the ammeter reading here A. There's only one ammeter connected because all are in series. We require only one ammeter to measure the current flowing through all of them. So this is known to you. Z circuit is known to you from the given experiment. Fine. Also, what is known to us is ZCC. What is ZCC? R plus JXL. How do we find out this? Because we know what is VCC. Okay. This voltmeter is known to, this voltmeter reading is known to us. We are measuring this, isn't it? So ZCC is nothing but VCC. You can see VCC divided by I. But we are already measuring this voltage across the choke coil using this voltmeter, VCC voltmeter, divided by current is measured by the ammeter here. writing down it like this: VCC divided by A. So this is known to you, this is known to you. VCC is known to you by measuring. A is already known to you. What you can find out is ZCC. Right? And what is Z circuit? What is the relation between them? Let us see. So Z circuit is equal to R plus ZCC, isn't it? What is this? This is nothing but R plus, what is ZCC? ZCC is again R plus J times XL. We have already written from here, R plus J times XL. So resistances are real parts here in this equation, isn't it? R plus small r. So they can be clubbed together, and this is the complex quantity XL. So it can be written as capital R per small r plus J times XL. That is Z circuit. This is Z circuit. This implies what will be the magnitude of Z circuit? That will be nothing but root of R plus small r the whole square plus XL square. We have already seen complex quantities how to find out the magnitude. Root of real part square plus imaginary part square. Same will be applied for R plus Jx also. I have told you, isn't it? Now if I square on both the sides, what will get? Z circuit square will be equal to R plus small r the whole square plus XL square. So if I open the brackets here, so this becomes capital R square plus small r square plus 2 times capital R into small r plus XL square, isn't it? So this can again be written as R square plus 2r into small r plus, I'm just rearranging it, I'm bringing it here and bringing it here, small r square. So small r square plus XL square. Just rearranging these terms. Now what is small r square plus XL square? So we had written here ZCC. ZCC is the choke coil impedance. So what is the magnitude of this ZCC? Magnitude of this will be nothing but root of small r square plus XL square. And if I square on both sides, what you will get? ZCC square can be written as R square plus XL square, isn't it? So this R square plus XL square, what I'm going to write down here is capital R square plus 2 times R into small r plus, instead of this, I'm going to write down ZCC square. ZCC square. Fine. So we know from this circuitry here, what all we have connected? We have connected a voltmeter here, which measures the voltage across the total circuit, VCKT. We have connected an ammeter here, okay, which measures the total current through the circuit here. Then we have connected a voltmeter across the choke coil to measure the voltage across the choke coil. We are calling it as VCC. So if these are connected here, we know V circuit divided by A is Z circuit. VCC divided by ammeter reading is ZCC. So from this equation, finally, what do we have? Z circuit square is equal to capital R square plus 2 times R into small r plus ZCC square. That means this is known to us from measurement. ZCC is also known to us from measurement, isn't it? These two quantities. So from here, can you calculate what is small r? Because what is capital R? What is capital R here? Capital R is the total load resistance. And how to find out that value? If we connect a voltmeter across resistance, so capital R is nothing but voltmeter, this voltmeter VR divided by the ammeter A, isn't it? This voltmeter V divided by the ammeter, same current flows to this, so same ammeter reading here. So these are known to us, that means capital R is known to us. So small r you can find out from this as Z circuit square minus Z choke coil square, right? Minus capital R square divided by 2 times capital R. Okay. So once you know Z circuit, ZCC, capital R, you can find out what is the small r value. What is small r? Small r is the resistance of your choke coil. Some small amount of resistance I told you it will have. We can evaluate that value of resistance for a choke coil. Next is what we have to evaluate. We have to find out the inductance of the choke coil L. How will you find out that? Already we know what is ZCC. ZCC square is equal to, from this expression, small r square plus XL square. So what is XL? XL is nothing but root of ZCC square minus small r square. And since all we have found out from here what is r, small r, ZCC already known to us, we can find out what is XL. And if you know what is XL, XL is nothing but omega into L. Omega is nothing but 2 pi f into L, and the frequency of operation is 50 Hertz because we are connecting it to an AC source of 50 Hertz frequency, isn't it? So substituting it here, we can find out what is the value of L. L is nothing but XL divided by 2 pi f. We have just now found out what is XL, so this is known to you. If this is known to you, frequency is known to you, you can find out finally what is L from the given network. Is it clear? So what all we have found out here from this circuit? We have found out what is the inductance value of this choke coil and what is the resistance of the choke coil. How did we evaluate this? By connecting this choke coil in series with a load. Okay, a load. Now in practical, we are going to connect a lamp load here. We have used lamp load is also a resistive load. So this is the essential circuit we are having. And by measuring the voltage across the choke coil using a voltmeter, voltage across the load, voltage across the complete circuit, and the current measurement here, we are able to find out what is the inductance value and what is the resistance of the choke coil. So in the A part, what we want to find out, determine the resistance as well as inductance of the choke coil. There are some more quantities which are left, the power and power factor. Now to find out what is the power and power factor, what you have to do? Find out what is the power. We are going to add something to our circuit here. Okay. So for that, we are going to connect here a measuring instrument which is known as a wattmeter. So in your electrical workshop, you might have drawn the symbol of a wattmeter, isn't it, in experiment number 1? So this is known as a wattmeter. It has two coils. One is a current coil and the other one is a pressure coil or a voltage coil. Now this wattmeter current coil is connected always in series with the load through which you want to measure the power. So it is always, you can see here, this is the current coil. It is connected in series. Whereas the pressure coil or the voltage coil is connected parallel to the circuit. So you can see here, it is connected between these 2 points, this coil. So this is the pressure coil and this is the current coil for a wattmeter. Fine. And we connect this wattmeter. What does it measure? It measures the power which is consumed in this circuit. It's consumed in this total circuit. And this supply, instead of directly giving a AC supply, what we are going to do here is we are connecting a auto transformer, okay, something like this, or a variac. So we are having a variac. Here we are having fixed voltage, 230 volt, 50 hertz. After this, there is a variable reactance or variable voltage. We are making it using a variac, a single phase variac. So here we get, this is 230 volt fixed, 50 hertz. And here we get 0 to 230 volt. But at the same 50 hertz frequency. So we get a variable voltage here. By varying this point of this variac, we can change the number of turns which are coming into the secondary side. So it's an auto transformer or a variac. So it will be helping us to set this value, any value between 0 to 230 volt. So once we set that value here, and we are connecting a voltmeter here. So I was talking about this voltmeter. The voltmeter is connected here. So this is your complete circuit here. Now power, how is it measured? Power is measured by this meter. Other things we have already measured, voltage, current and everything. The power is measured by this wattmeter, power consumed. Okay, so the power is measured by this. How do you find out the power factor in this circuit? How do you find out the power factor in this circuit? What is power factor? Can anyone say what is the power factor in this circuit? Or the definition of power factor? क्या होता है power factor? So since you are having a resistance, what all is present now in our circuit? Let me quickly draw the basic circuitry here. You are having a small resistance R, an inductance L, and let's say some load is also connected, which is capital R. Okay, this is your equivalent circuit. Even though there are some measuring instruments which are connected, I am not drawing them. Just the equivalent circuit I have drawn. And here you are having a AC source, Vs, isn't it? And there is some current flowing to the circuit. This is the circuit which you have essentially in the lab. Now, how do you find out what is the power factor of operation? The power factor basically tells us to what extent your circuit is behaving as a pure resistance. So to what extent, or to what extent the circuit behaves as a pure resistance. So this circuit here does not have pure resistance. It is actually a combination of, what is the total circuit here having? It is having small r, inductor L, and capital R also. So we know the total Z for this circuit will be written as small r plus J time XL, that is for the coil, plus capital R, isn't it? We have seen this, and because of the real parts we can add small r plus capital R plus J times XL, isn't it? We have already seen this. This is the Z circuit for the total circuit here. Now the real part of this impedance is this is the resistive part, total resistive part, and this is the reactance part. Now, what is the power factor? Power factor is actually telling us how much is out of this total component of impedance, how much factor is the resistive portion here. What is the total impedance? Total impedance is Z circuit. And that magnitude is how much? Root of R plus capital R, the whole square, plus XL square. We have already seen this is the total magnitude. So out of this total impedance, how much is actually the total resistive part? So total resistive part is only how much? R plus capital R. So what is power factor? Power factor is defined as this part R plus capital R out of the total impedance, which is out of this total impedance Z circuit. So in terms of magnitude, this is R plus capital R divided by root of small r plus R, the whole square, plus XL square. So this is the power factor of your circuit. Fine. So you need to you can evaluate this for this given circuit also. Power we have seen from the wattmeter, and power factor, I've told you how to find out this. Power factor is, since you know what is small r, you know what is capital R. This is known. Excel also is known to you. You have seen here. Excel is also found out. Once you know all these quantities, you can find out what is the total power factor of operation of your given circuit. Is this clear? Yeah. So this is about the first part of your experiment, where for this given choke coil, you had to determine the R, L, power and power factor. Right. Now same thing you have to do for a RC network also, RC series network also. So there what we'll have, there instead of a choke coil, we'll be having a capacitor which is connected. So let me just show you that manual readings what we have to take. Yeah. So for your choke coil circuit, this is our experimental circuit here, which we are doing in the lab. So what all are there, you can see. Is it visible to everyone? This is the circuit. So I told you this is a single phase supply at the input, 50 Hertz, and we are having a switch here, power switch with a circuit breaker and a fuse. Then we are having a variac. Variac, I told you, it just gives us a variable voltage. So this 230 volt can be varied from 0 to 230 value, 0 to 230 volt, 50 Hertz. Okay. And across this we connect a voltmeter. So I had already shown you in the circuit, we are connecting a voltmeter here, V circuit. So that is this voltmeter. This is your V circuit. Then we are having, what all are there? This is the choke coil I have told you about. This coil and a small resistance. And across this choke coil, we are measuring another, we are connecting another voltmeter, which is VCC, isn't it? I told you. And after that, we are having load. I told you that load is nothing but a lamp load. It is resistive in nature. So we are having lamps which are connected in parallel. Finally, we'll turn them with the help of switches in order to, we'll close these switches such that those lamps turn on. That much amount of current starts flowing. So to get variable points here, we are connecting the lamps here and turning on them one by one. In the video, I will show you, so that will be much more clearer. And across that, we again have a voltmeter. This is the voltage. With this measuring the voltage VR, voltage across this load, capital R. Okay. And I told you to measure the current here with the help of an ammeter. Since it is all AC circuitry, all meters here which we have here, which we are having here, are AC meters. That is why the symbol is like this, sinusoidal. And this is the wattmeter which I told you. It has a current coil connected in series with this load and pressure coil which is connected parallel with the circuit here. Okay, so this is a wattmeter. This will be used to measure the power in the power consumed in the circuit here. So you can see this is the same circuit which I have drawn and explained till now, the whole analysis. Now I'm going to show what are the readings and observation table which you have to follow here. So these are the observation table values. Can you see what are the things which we are measuring here? This is the observation table. This is supply voltage Vs, this V circuit, Vs or V circuit voltage. Okay, this is the voltage across resistor VR, this voltmeter. This is the voltmeter VR. This is voltage across the coil, VCC, this voltmeter. Okay, and this is the current, that means this ammeter A. And this is the power, which is nothing but the wattmeter reading. So all these are measured for different values of load. So first we'll turn on this switch. So one lamp will be turned on some current will flow. So for that, we are measuring what is this voltmeter, voltage across this choke coil, current flowing through this ammeter, and total power consumed by this circuit in the wattmeter reading. So we are measuring all these one by one. Similarly, next we'll turn on this switch and we'll see that this lamp is also connected. More current will flow, this current plus this current, so more current will flow through the circuit. So what will happen? You can see current has increased. So we turn on lamps one by one and measure all these meter readings. Okay. And with the help of these readings, what are we calculating? We are calculating small r and L. This is what we are calculating. Because what is Z circuit? Z circuit is V circuit divided by A. This is V circuit divided by A. That will give you what is Z circuit. Z choke coil will be V choke coil divided by A. So this is V choke coil divided by A. Will give you what is Z choke coil. And once you know those, Z circuit square minus ZCC square minus capital. What is capital R? Capital R is nothing but capital R is VR divided by A. VR also is measured by you. Just check. VR is also measured. Voltage across the load divided by A. That will give you what is R value. So circuit square minus ZCC square minus R square divided by 2R will give you what is R. Similarly, L will be found out by finding out what is XL. XL is root of ZCC square minus R square. We have already seen this calculation. So using those calculations, once you know these readings, you can do the calculations by the formula which I have mentioned here. These are also available in the lab, so don't worry. In the manual, it is mentioned. So from that also you can calculate the values of small r and small r and capital L. Power is measured by this wattmeter already, and power factor again you have to calculate depending upon what is small r, capital R, and XL value. Is this clear to all? So this is the first part of your experiment. Clear है सबको? Yeah, I will give you the manual, don't worry. Now next is the B part. What is happening in B part? Okay, also I'll just show you what is the result table here. There's a result table also. So if I'm putting it here, so this is the result table here. So this is the observation table. Based on this, you can fill these values individually. What is capital R? What is Z circuit? What is Z coil? Small r, capital X, L, P, and power factor. So this is the result table. Whatever you have calculated from these observations, these are the observations which you have to write down, and finally fill these values for each reading. So 5 readings you have. So correspondingly for all 5 readings, you can calculate these values from the given formula. Fine. Now after that, in this circuit, you also have to draw the phasor diagram. For that, there is some procedure which is mentioned. I will discuss that later. Now let us go to the B part of this experiment, which is for a series RC circuit. So let me go to the next page. So B part for series RC circuit. Same aim is there. We need to find out what is the resistance, what is the capacitance, what is the power, R, C, power, and power factor. No, you don't have to write all these things in your main lab manual. Okay, these are for your information. This is in the rough book or rough record which you are maintaining for the lab. You can write down all this explanation for, so that you understand. Okay, उसके लिए ताकि आप लोग समझो. Now let me just draw the circuit diagram here. I'll directly use the one which is done in the lab. So this is the circuit diagram here. which we are having in the lab. So this is similar to the earlier case. Only difference is that instead of a choke coil, we are having a capacitor. So let's say this is your capital R, the load. Here we are having C. So if I'm asking you to write down or draw the equivalent small circuit here, so you will have a voltage V and then a capacitor C, and then there is a load here. Okay, that load is a resistive load here, also lamp load R, and this is the current I flowing through the circuit here. This is Vs at frequency F, 50 Hertz. So similarly here also we can write down KVL because this is a closed path. So Vs minus the voltage across the capacitance. Voltage across capacitance is Vc. Okay, Vc is the voltage across this. Then voltage across the resistance, I am calling this voltage as Vr minus Vr should be equal to 0. What is Vc? Okay, first I'll write down what is. Yeah, so first I'll write down what is VR. Okay, what is VR here? VR is nothing but I multiplied by R. This will be the same as in previous case also. Current flowing through the resistance is the same. They are both are in series. So I phasor multiplied by R. This does not change instantaneously. Now, what about the voltage across capacitor Vc? So voltage across capacitor, again, as one of you had told, it will be current multiplied by the opposition offered by this capacitor to the flow of current, isn't it? So for an inductor, we had seen that these both are not in same phase. So similarly, for a capacitor also, the voltage across the capacitor and the current flowing through the capacitor, they both are not in same phase, right? So what is that opposition called? There I told you it is known as XL. Here I'm calling that value as XC, and I told you that value is nothing but 1 by omega C, capacitive reactance. It is depending upon omega, where omega is 2 pi F. So this can also be written as 1 by 2 pi F into C. Fine. So if I write down here, V is equal to current multiplied by opposition offered by the capacitance, that is capacitive reactance XC. But capacitive reactance is a scalar quantity. So as per this expression, what do you understand? Scalar multiplied by a phasor. That means the total quantity will have the same phase as that of the current. That means voltage and current are in same phase. For a capacitor, that is not true. That means this equation is actually an incomplete equation. So what is the actual relationship for a capacitor? If this is your voltage across the capacitor Vc, then in a capacitor, the current leads the voltage by 90 degree. So the current through a capacitor I, if this is the current I through the capacitor, it leads the voltage by 90 degree. Now how to represent that phase angle 90 degree lead here? For an inductor it was lagging, but for the capacitor it is leading by 90 degree. How to represent that in this expression? How to write down this in this particular expression? By again using the J operator. So if I multiply this, if I multiply by J any quantity, we know that there is a rotation of 90 degree in the counterclockwise direction, right? But if I multiply it by minus J, if I multiply it by minus J, what happens? It rotates the same quantity, the same phasor by 90 degree in the clockwise direction. So if I multiply this I with a scalar XC, so again this I into XC will be in the same phase as that of I. But now I want to represent VC. VC is 90 degree lagging to it. So what we'll do, we'll multiply it. We have to rotate in this direction. So I'll multiply this phasor JIC, J into XC by minus J. Okay. If I multiply it by minus J, what will happen? It will rotate this. The magnitude will not change. Okay. That means this magnitude will not change. This will remain the same. If I draw a circle like this, I into XC and VC, that means VC magnitude will be the same as I into XC. But the phase angle difference between both of them is represented by this J operator. And multiplying it, this I into XC by minus J will rotate in the clockwise direction by 90 degree, and we'll get what is VC. I hope that is clear. So this is how this becomes a complete representation of VC and I. Now if I substitute both of them in this equation, top equation, what is this? Vs becomes equal to VC is nothing, VR plus VC. VR is I into R plus, what is VC? VC is minus J times I into XC. Now if I take I common here, because I is the same, series current remains same, then this becomes R minus J times XC. Yes. Fine. Now what is this R minus JXC? So this is voltage V is equal to I multiplied by some total opposition offered. I into something is equal to V means what is the unit of this? The unit of this should be ohms. What is this? Nothing but this is impedance. Okay, this is the total impedance of the circuit here. Total impedance of the circuit R minus JXC. So if this is your complete circuit like this is the total impedance R minus JXC. So I can write down here Z circuit is equal to R minus J times XC. And if I write down the magnitude Z circuit, magnitude can be written as root of R square plus XC square. R square plus XC square, because even though this is A plus JB or A minus JB, the magnitude is the same. They both are same magnitude wise. Root of A square plus B square. So here also it is root of R square plus XC square. Fine. That is Z circuit here. Now, what are we measuring in this particular case? So just come back to the circuit. So we are measuring across the capacitor. That means we are measuring the capacitor voltage VC. What will be that basically? VC is, we have already written, magnitude will be nothing but I into XC. I into XC, isn't it? So if I write down like this, if I want to write down XC can be written directly from this as voltmeter value. This voltmeter, if I say this voltmeter is VC, so VC voltmeter divided by the ammeter value. This is ammeter A. VC divided by A will directly give you what is XC value. And what is XC? XC is, I have already told you, it is nothing but 1 by 2 pi FC. Isn't it? So from here, what you can find out, C can be written as 1 by 2 pi F into XC. So if VC is known, A is known in the given circuit. If you are measuring these two, ammeter and this voltmeter values, we can find out directly what is XC. If XC is known, we can find out what is the capacitance value. Isn't it? Now what else we are measuring? We are measuring VR also. This is VR. And the current flowing through this also is known. So VR is equal to I into R value. So from here you can find out what is R. R is nothing but VR voltmeter divided by the ammeter value. So R is all, this is known to us. R is also known to us. Now, what else we have to find out here? We have to find out what is in the circuit diagram. Just let me just open your manual. Yeah, So yeah, so we know what is R, we know what is C, and you can see here we are again having a wattmeter here. That wattmeter is used to measure the power consumed in the circuit. Wattmeter. Yeah, power in the circuit. So power we can find out. How to measure the power factor? Power factor. Power factor I had told you, it is the extent to which a given network is behaving as a pure resistance. So what is the circuit here? Our circuit is R minus JXE, out of which how much is the resistant parts? Only capital R. How much is the reactance part? XE. So power factor will be nothing but capital R. We had seen there also power factor is the ratio here. One second. So here you can say what is from this circuit, Z circuit is equal to R minus J times XE, and Z circuit magnitude will be root of R square plus XE square, out of which after this magnitude how much is the only component resistance? Capital R. So power factor is that component R divided by the total impedance of the circuit, R square plus XE square. So the capital R is known to you, XE is known to you. You can find out what is the power factor of the given circuit. And I'll show you what is to be written in the observation table. So this is the observation table, and the result table also I'll show. So this is the result table we have. Okay, so observation table, what all we are measuring, you can see from our circuit, Vs. Okay, that means this voltmeter. You can call this as V circuit. Okay, V circuit. This we are measuring. Then VR we are measuring this voltmeter. Then VC we are measuring. I told you. What is VC? Voltage across the capacitor. Then current we are measuring. This is the ammeter reading. This ammeter reading. Then power is measured by the wattmeter. So this is nothing but the wattmeter reading. And how do we get these four readings? By varying the load. So by turning on these switches one by one, we'll for each load turn on, we will measure the all the meter readings, and we'll write down in this. And using this, how will you find out the result table? We have to find out what is capital R, what is capital C, what is cos phi, and what is P. What is cos phi? Cos phi is nothing but the power factor. So this power factor is nothing but cos of phi. And what is this cos of phi? Basically, this cos phi can be understood from the phasor diagram. So let me show you now what is a phasor diagram here for this given circuit. So this is the phasor diagram which you need to draw. Same thing I will be telling you for R, your choke coil also. Let's first see for a capacitive circuit. So how will you draw this? So this basically is the current. The current is taken here as the reference. Our circuit is, I told you, capacitor, and this is resistance. I'm just going to draw it parallelly so that you understand it in a better way. So this is your voltage Vs. Okay, source voltage. This is C and this is R, and this is the current I. So if I take for this the current I as the reference phasor, because this is common to both of them, series circuit, right? So I is same for both of them. And if I is the reference phasor here, fine. So we know that because of this I, the voltage across this VR will be in the same phase as that of I. So if this is I, this will be VR in the same phase because VR is I into R. So you can see here also in this phasor diagram, VR is the same phase as that of I. Okay. Now we can see there are some steps to draw this also. This you have to draw in the graph. So you can set any scale value. 1 centimeter is equal to, let's say, depending upon the readings value. Okay. Let's say you take 50 volt. If you're taking 50 volt or 25 volt, 20 volt, let's say. So this is 200 times, right? So 10 centimeter tak aayega aapka scale. If you increase this, if you make this 30 or let's say 50 volt, then small graph you will get. So select your scale depending upon the voltage level. Now draw the current I, this current I, as reference phasor OE shown in this figure. Fine. Whenever you draw this I, that is depending upon this current value. Fine. OE. Now draw the phasor OB. This is OB to scale in phase with that of OE, because we know that if this is current I, VR will also be in the same phase. So depending upon this, VR is this voltage. Let's say you are drawing for the first. This is for the first serial number. So draw for the first serial number. Current you measure. Current का आपने reference बनाया I. उसी same phase में आपने बना दिया VR. VR value is how much? 198. So divided by 50 volt, if you do, whatever the units you get, that much centimeter you draw here. Okay. From this point B, draw an arc of radius equal to VC, because VC is also measured by you. So 2 volts. 2 volts का आपको एक इस point से arc लेना है, and you have to cut it like this using your compass. Right? Cut it like this. VC. Fine. Add 90-degree lagging with the reference to the current phasor. So you are just cutting it like this. Now from point O, this point, draw an arc of radius equal to VS. VS is which voltage? This 199. So from this point, draw the VS. So this much VS in 199 divided by 50. So how many units you have from here to here? That much centimeter you draw another arc here. So this arc already is there. This arc also you draw. They will meet at a point, isn't it? So that point you join these two lines. So this line will be basically perpendicular, and this angle which you have, this is nothing but your phi. And this is your phasor diagram creation. Now, how to understand this in terms of your given circuit? So this is I, this is same phase, you will have VR also. And what is KVL? KVL we had seen VS was equal to VC. VC is the voltage across this. VC plus VR, isn't it? So VR we have drawn, we have to draw what is VC also. Where will be VC? If I is known to you, we know that for a capacitor, current, if this is the current flowing through it, current leads the voltage by 90 degree. That means voltage across the capacitor should be somewhere here, VC. So if this is I, then your capacitor voltage should be somewhere 90 degree in this direction. In this direction. So VR is here, then VC is here. Okay. So this is this much angle, 90 degree lagging to this will be your VC. Isn't it? So what we have, VC plus VR, this phasor, VC plus this phasor. So this is phasor, I have told you it is similar to that of a vector. So this phasor and this phasor, VR plus VC, should be equal to how much? VS. So this phasor will be equal to your VS phasor. Okay. And the angle between this is VS is equal to VC plus VR. They are 90 degree to it. And this angle is nothing but your angle phi. And this cos of phi, if you calculate, what is cos of phi? Cos of phi is nothing but base upon hypotenuse. So base of this is 90 degree. Base is VR divided by VS hypotenuse. What is VR? VR is I into R divided by what is VS? VS is nothing but For this particular case, Vs is the total circuit voltage is equal to I into Z circuit. Remember, we have already written this earlier. I into Z circuit, where what is Z circuit? R minus J times Xc, isn't it? So this is the Z circuit. So I into, so this is I into Z circuit. So I gets cancelled. What we have is R divided by Z circuit, which is nothing but R divided by root of, what is the value of Z circuit here? Magnitude is R square plus Xc. So we had written here also what is power factor. Power factor is R divided by root of R square plus Xc square. And I told you that is nothing but cos phi. Is it clear? So this is how you evaluate all things from the circuit here by measuring everything here. We are measuring all these instruments here and finally finding out what is the resistance, capacitance, power factor in the given circuit here. Finally, you have to draw this phasor diagram with the help of such steps. In the graph paper, you have to put this with a specific scale. So same graph you have to plot for phasor diagram. You have to plot for the choke coil also. So for choke coil also, I'll just quickly tell you what is the method to plot. So you can see here. And for choke coil, what was the circuit? Remember? अभी हमने देखा था. There is a choke coil, resistance, small resistance, and an inductor. This together forms a choke coil, and that is connected in series with a load here. Load we had represented as capital R, and this was the source voltage here, Vs. So this was also, this is VR voltage. This is V choke coil voltage, voltmeter. This is all we were measuring here. We are having a meter, and this voltage were also measured here using V circuit. So these things we had measured there. So here also you can draw the phasor diagram, take any scale depending upon the reading value. What will be the circuit? What will be the phasor here in this particular case? Again, we can take current as the reference here, I. Okay, current I as taken as reference. And what is KVL in this loop? Vs is equal to V choke coil plus VR. We had done all this in the A part. And what is V choke coil? V choke coil is I into R plus I into J times I into XL, right? This is for choke coil plus I into R. This is Vs. So you can see this be written as I into R plus capital R plus J times I into XL. This is Vs. Same thing we had written earlier. So how to represent this in terms of phasor form? So if this is I, then where will be VR? VR is nothing but I into capital R. So if this is I, then this will be VR in the same phase as that of I. This phasor, because they both are in the same phase here for a resistor, right? So if this is VR, now for this VR, what I'm going to add here is, this is VR, I into R. We have already written. What I'm going to add to here is I into small r. Again, to this point, I'm going to add how much? I into small r. I into small r I'm going to add. So what does this become? This point. From this point, if I'm measuring, this is O. This is capital VR. If I'm adding to this small r into I in the same phase, because they are resistances, right? Next term, so we have written this, we have written this. What is the next term which is left? Plus J times I into XL, right? J times means rotation by 90 degree. So this point should be rotated by 90 degree in the counterclockwise, this direction. So in this direction, we have to rotate This magnitude is how much? J times I into XL. So sum of these two, VR plus I into small r plus J times I into XL should be equal to what? Vs. So this should be the Vs phasor, isn't it? So this is VR phasor. This is I into R, and this is I into XL. And join this phasor here. What is this phasor representing? This is basically how much? I into R plus J times I into XL. What is I into R plus J times I into XL? What is this? This is nothing but the choke coil voltage, VCC. So this is nothing but the choke coil phasor. This plus this. R in small r into I plus J times I into XL. This is the choke coil voltage. This is capital VR. So you can see capital VR, this plus choke coil voltage VCC. This phasor and this phasor should be equal to Vs phasor, isn't it? That is what we had written earlier also. Vs is equal to VCC plus VR. This angle is known as phi. Okay, this angle is known as phi. And what is cos phi here also? If I find out what is cos phi, base. What is base here? This from here to here, this is VR. VR. And how much is this? Plus I into R. Sorry, I into small r. This quantity is I into small r, isn't it? So capital, this is VR phasor plus I into small r. This is the total value. This is the total base divided by hypotenuse Vs. Isn't it? In terms of magnitude, how much will this be? VR is nothing but I into capital R plus I into small r divided by Vs is nothing but root of. So Vs can be written as I into Z circuit. So if I take out I common from this whole circuit, what I get is capital R plus small r divided by Z circuit. We had seen this earlier also, Z circuit. And this can be written as R plus small r divided by root of R plus R the whole square plus XL square. This was the power factor. I had told in initial slide also. This is nothing but cos of. The same thing you have to do for the phasor diagram also. So draw this OE, you can see, draw the current I, just reference phasor, not equal to the scale. Just simply draw this as a reference phasor. Now on this, draw the phasor OB. In this phasor you have to draw OB, which is equal to VR. VR already you have here. In that, let me just copy that table. Yeah, so I'm just copying this table here. This in the last slide also we had seen for choke coil. So depending upon this, let's say we are talking about the first serial number. So for first serial number, you can draw the phasor diagram here. VR is nothing but this voltmeter reading. Depending upon the scale you have taken, 1 centimeter is equal to, let's say, 50. 1 unit is equal to 50. 1 centimeter is equal to 50 volt. So correspondingly to that, VR by 50, you can find out how much centimeters it is there. So that much you have to draw your VR. Next, what you have to draw from point B. Okay, draw an arc of radius V coil, because we know this phasor is V coil. V coil is already measured here. So this much magnitude, convert it into centimeters and draw an arc like this. Fine. From point O, this point, arc of radius Vs. This we know it is Vs. Vs is already measured here. So 199. Again measure this and draw another arc. So one arc is like this and the other arc is like this. You will get the point A. Point A you will get. So BA you can join and draw what is V coil. So VR is known to you. This is known to you. V coil is known to you. Fine. Now from point A, you can draw perpendicular to this line that will meet here at D. That will meet here at D. Okay, so this total measurement BD is actually nothing but small r into I. Small r into I. So BD will be nothing but small r into I. Now phasor AD here. This represents the voltage across the inductive reactance Vx. That we know also, because what is this? J times I into XL. Vx is nothing but J times I into XL. So that is the inductive reactance across the voltage I into XL. I into X. And determine R and L from the phasor diagram. And compare the results. So R and L you can find out from this phasor diagrams also. So because small r is from this magnitude BD divided by I magnitude. If you calculate, you'll get small r. And this is I into XL you will find out. From there XL you find out what, then you find out what is L value. So that also you can find out from phasor diagram. So this phasor diagram also you have to draw for your A part of the experiment, and this is for the B part of the experiment. Fine. So this is your experiment number 2. So let me just share the practical file with you, practical lab manual with you. Yes. So is this visible to all? This document is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is your lab manual. This will be shared with you. So experiment 2A is for choke coil. We have seen. This is a theory which I have explained, and the formula is given to fit, using which you can find out the values. This is the procedure. Observation table we have already discussed. This is the calculation you have to do for finding out what is R, small r, XL, and all those things I have explained. The result table, phasor diagram, just now we have seen. And finally, small r and capital L you have to find out in the result. And some quiz questions for RL series circuit. B part of this experiment, we have seen this is the circuit. Again, the theory which I have explained. Observation table also we have discussed. Calculations based on that. Result table and the phasor diagram. And conclusion. And finally, the quiz question for RC circuit. So here, B part, the result will be resistance and capacitance you have to evaluate and answer the quiz questions. Okay, so these are the things which you have to do for your lab manual. So आप क्या क्या लिखोगे lab manual के अंदर in your final practical file? Practical file I have already told in the previous session, make a left side blank and right side rule. Okay, so aim, apparatus, okay, procedure, and calculations, results, conclusion, and quiz questions. This all should be on the rule side, and on the blank side you can draw the circuit diagrams. Then you can draw the observation table. And in this particular case, result table also you have to draw and fill the values. And then you have to draw on the graph paper, you have to draw the phasor diagram. Okay. Phasor diagram to be drawn on the graph paper and to be stuck on the blank page. That means behind this ruled there will be a blank page again, right? So on that you can stick the phasor diagram once you complete this. So this is how you have to prepare your laboratory record. Is it clear? Yeah. So I'll be sharing the recording, this session which I have taken. This recording will be shared with you. So only the P2 students batch. So आपका roll number 45 अगर है तो you will not get this. As per the roll numbers only, I'll be sharing it on the Google Drive. Okay, so only using your official Nirma University ID, you will be able to access it. So don't ask access from Gmail. Gmail से आप open करके मेरे से बार-बार पूछो. Access मत पूछना कि please give me the right to see the document. Only using your NU ID and the given roll numbers in the specific N2 lab, you will be getting the access to this. Fine. Also on that folder, I will be sharing with you a video. That video is for the experimental performance, which we have done in the lab. So all of you have to watch that video, and then you come in the next session. We will discuss any doubts regarding that particular experiment. Okay, so everyone has to watch that video. I will share that link with you in that same Google Drive folder. Fine. Is it clear to all? So this is about your experiment number 2 for tetrahedral. So we'll conclude the session today, and already I've told you what all you have to write down. So this manual will also be shared with you. Do you people have, are you enrolled in LMS already?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, so in that particular case, this lab manual also I will share it in that same Google Drive. Okay, from there you can take the data. Otherwise, actually these manuals are already available on LMS. That is why I was asking. Anyways, I will share it with in the Drive folder. Okay. Any other doubts?
No, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
So
sir.
yeah, fine. So you people can listen to this recording also later. I'll be adding the recording link also in that same folder along with the password. Fine. So we'll stop today and meet in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.